Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Paradigm Paradox, continuing the common route. I said that last time, right? That we were in Paradigm Paradox? I said that, right? You know, when we start a new game sometimes, I'm like, I don't remember if I remember the name of it. And sometimes even when we're 30 hours into a game, I'm like, what the hell, what are we playing today? Anyway, but you know what we're playing. You know what you clicked on. But we're still on the common route. Now going to see these creepy, eyeless researchers. The horror show it is. Anyway. Oh, hello! We've been waiting for you! Kaori, Haruka, you're looking well. Haruka, for some reason, my brain can't process them and get the right voice. Hi. That's more the accent. Hi. Whatever. I can't do it. I can't figure it out. I need to... Those two voices get mixed up in my head way too easily. You haven't changed much. Sena Mocha seem in fine form too. Are you accustomed to battle now? Yes, very. It turns out people can adapt to anything. They all look really uncomfortable, but the researchers seem friendly enough. What's with all the negativity? Hello there, Mr. Kuramori. Is that the new recruit you mentioned? So what power is at her disposal? I'd love a chance to analyze it properly. Yikes! I'm being studied! The researchers were all staring at me. I inadvertently looked down to avoid their gaze, but felt someone step in front of me. I like how they put his shadow in there like you don't know that's him in his goofy little ponytail. I'm sorry, I do love him. You can't be evil. You're goofy and weird, and, like, I know that, like, we can't sit there like, why aren't you a love interest? Because we're, like, a high school girl. We should be romancing the high school boys. But we're gonna romance Rio, and he's like fucking God knows he's your friend, so he's definitely not in high school, so it's a little inappropriate. So if we were gonna be inappropriate, it should have been with this beautiful bastard. He's goofy and weird and just pretty. You know? And he's probably very Tuxedo Mask-like, where he's kind of useless. Well, I mean, he's the commander, but like, so far he seems kind of useless. Although he's standing in front of these guys in front of us to protect us, so you know what? Maybe not so useless. Commander? I raised my head and saw his body shielding me from the researcher's stares. I sighed with relief at his second gallant gesture of the day. Well, we haven't confirmed anything yet. You should wait until our power's established before you analyze her. Really? But... Anyway, another time, eh? Well, why not analyze Kaori and the others first? I'll keep my eye on the new recruit for now. Are you my uncle? 'Cause, like... You're, like, trying to protect me like you would if you were, like... You know what I mean? Well, we don't have the luxury of time. Prepare to analyze the brainwaves of the others. Right away. Did the commander cover for me? The other girls seem to hate all this. I think I'm starting to get why they didn't want to come. 2 hours later... I guess that's all the tests for now. I'm beyond tired. I was spared the in-depth studies, but they still recorded my height, weight, and so on. I feel like a lab rat. Commander, what's going on? Let me guess. Yes, a vector's been spotted. Are all members able to mobilize? What awful timing. It's hardly ideal, but duty calls. Sorry, everyone, I know you're tired, but can you go on a mission now? That's fine. We can go. I'm good to go. Yes, we should hurry there at once. Some fresh air and exercise would be a welcome change from this stuffy place. I concur. I want to get out of here, too. Our time and energy is better spent on fighting vectors than all this. We headed outside, but as soon as we saw what was waiting for us, we froze. Sure are a lot of them today, aren't there? I've never seen this many together before. There seemed to be several dozen of them. It was far more than I'd ever encountered, too. Alright, light them on fire. Steel yourselves, everyone! Let's do this! Remember to fight in formation! Oh, right, that's Sena. Okay, I get confused every once in a while. Allow me to direct the battle using my foresight. Alright, good idea. And you, augment our powers when the time's right, okay? Especially Haruka's. Got it. I'll stick close to Haruka. I'm counting on you. Interesting. Wait, are those people over there? I'm gonna guess it's our other 3 boyfriends. Hey everyone, there's still people here. See? 3 of them just over there. Yeah, right. We need to get them out of here first and foremost. No, because they're in battle stance. Hold on. Something's off. Haruka's right. They're barely moving, and 2 of them look odd. Yep. Oh! Okay, see, that's what I thought. Okay, when Ibuki came up in whatever his girl form is and said something about who belongs here or us or the vectors, whatever. So our villains, see, they're starting to turn into the monsters. Interesting. And maybe that's what happens because they're doing human experimentation. Because obviously something is happening, like why do our boys turn into magical girls? You know? Why? They have horns. They may not be humans at all. Are they allied with the vectors? We've never encountered anything like this before. Interesting. Oh. Like, what's his face's single horn is kind of really like, it just looks really, really, what were you, it just, there's something wrong about it. But like the tattoo, like the vine tattoos all over, it's kind of cool. His fingernails are terrifying. And the third one, isn't that, the last member of the group looks familiar. I'm sorry, it's technically a CG for our other 3. It was the girl I encountered earlier. The one with the mysterious aura. Okay, so, and in whatever voice I don't know. Anyway, Hyuga, Yukonami, let's move. Okay. Sure thing, let's do it. And they're coming. This is kind of fun that we get to meet them this way. The words barely escaped Haruka's lips as a shadowy figure zipped toward her in less than a nanosecond. Yeah! Ah, she dodged. How about this one? The attacking shadow, someone named Yukonami apparently, turned to me. He's too fast. I barely evaded him. Couldn't even get a counter in. Unless the other shadow that was there was Hyuga, but I think it was Ryo, because just the way he stands. But then there was a sound like a gunshot. I looked to see the guy named Hyuga with a gun pulled on Kaori. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, why did you make it fleshy colored? It looks like he's got a penis growing out of his forehead. Like, a very pointy one, but it's just like, you could have just done something different. Like, it made it a little less inappropriate. Projectile weapons? That's cheating! No such thing as cheating in battle. Oh, Moravia, that's right. Moravia, you take care of the vectors. We'll handle this lot. Very well. Now then, go forth, everyone. Is she giving orders to the vectors? Attack the vectors, speak to Moravia. I feel like we should just attack the vectors. Speaking to Moravia seems like the positive for Ibuki. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. That girl is concerning, to say the least. But taking down the vectors comes first. Give me your hand, Haruka. I'll use Augment. Roger. Did we take care of them all? With one last punch to a vector, I looked at Kaori and the others. They'd also just finished up, meaning that vector threat had been quelled. It looks like we're done here. That weird trio's nowhere to be found, though. You're right. They must have run off. I guess we let them get away. Sorry. I had my eyes on them, but I was too busy fighting to chase after. And the vectors kept me occupied as well. They're completely cornered. We're lucky they withdrew. Are you saying they would have steamrolled us? That's impossible. We can't be defeated. But they did get away. If they overrun us again, it could be trouble. No. Anyway, let's withdraw for now. The commander wants us back too. Good job, everyone. I was watching on the monitor. Seems we have new foes to deal with.
The names are Moravia, Hyuga, and Yukinomi. They seem to be allied with the Vectors, yet they look human and are intelligent. Also, they have superpowers. They possess superhuman physical abilities and, like us, they can use psychokinesis.
The same thing crossed my mind. And if the Vectors have people with superpowers on their side, things could get dangerous fast. Oh, I should tell the others about the girl. So actually... Why ever would you keep silent about something so important? Sorry, I had no idea she was with the Vectors. Plus, she appeared and then vanished so quickly, I thought maybe it was a dream. Well, what's done is done. We won't get anywhere pointing fingers. We'll just have to make sure nothing like it happens again.
Is it possible they singled out the rookie to get closer to us?
It's possible, especially if she was targeted while she was alone. We should stay on high alert. Everyone, keep an eye on your surroundings, and you always report weird stuff ASAP. Understood. And use the buddy system during the day, but stay put unless absolutely necessary. What? You mean I can't go into town? Nope. Not until we find out why Moravia seems so interested in you. I guess that's what I get for talking to Moravia. I'll just have to put up with not going out for a while. I understand. From now on, I'll stick to the academy and the dorm. I'll show up for my bloom duties, and that's it. Good stuff. As for the rest of you, stay on your toes. You might even need to consider changing how you fight. Roger. I'm so exhausted. I ran into that strange girl after school, and then I was prodded like a guinea pig, not to mention the huge Vector fight. Today had been draining, to say the least. I want to write an email to Uncle Yashima, but I don't think I have the energy. I rolled my pendant around my palm as I recalled the events that led up to today. Being part of a secret group is exciting until you have to hide secrets from friends and family. It's hard. But this is what it takes to protect people. From the shadows, I can keep Lizzie and everyone safe. That thought keeps me going. The day had been packed with oddities. The question about who deserved the world, the scientist who treated me like a test subject, the horde of Vectors, the mysterious trio. I'm getting the feeling the situation is much more complicated than I first thought. Report obtained. Yeah, well, there's no way to, read those, though. You know what I mean? No button. Well, I fell asleep thinking troubled thoughts and woke feeling like a zombie the next day. Hey, you look kind of tired today. Ugh, nothing gets past Lizzie. I didn't sleep well last night. I had some stuff on my mind. Hey, the weather's awesome today. Let's have lunch outside. The fresh air will perk you right up. You're right. Let's eat outside. We're gonna see boyfriend? The air does feel nice. Lizzie was right. This was a great idea. I'll go buy us some drinks. Oh, that's me. I'll go buy us some drinks. Sorry. Alrighty. I'll find us some place to sit. Okay. Oh, Ryo's over there by the vending machines. I wonder if he's doing maintenance. No, he has no idea how to do maintenance. He's spying. Is your wound fully healed? Wound? Oh, right. He gave me first aid. See, it's because he stands like this. That's exactly how the shadow was. So he was talking to Moravia, so. It was just a scrape. It healed up. It healed right up. But, thanks for your concern. Oh, I wasn't particularly concerned. I was just curious. What was that? Nothing. You're healed, so all's well. I got that injury quite a while ago. He's pretty dedicated to the job. No, I think he's on the bad guy's side. But his apathy is overwhelming. If he were a doctor, I'd say his bedside manner is atrocious. I wonder what he's really like the bad guys. I would assume. You know what I mean? Because we've seen him talking to actually that makes sense because... Hold on, hot second. Flashback. Least to greatest in terms of plot spoilers, obviously Kamui, Mihaya, Ayumu, Tokyo, Hyuga, Yukinami, Ibuki, Ryo, grand finale. Okay, you can also mix up your route. That's also probably big spoilers as to why Ryo's interested in a young girl. Just saying. Okay, you can mix up your route order by simultaneously 2 sets of heroes, 2 villains. Okay, Kamui and Mihaya, we know. Hyuga and Yukinami. Ayumu and Tokyo. Ibuki and Ryo. And we know Ibuki is a bat, so that makes sense. Yeah, okay. So I should have probably figured that out from that. But I was just assuming it's because Ibuki and Ryo, where you couldn't do them till the end anyway. Not, you're doing the first 4 characters you do in her recommended route, least to greatest in terms of plot spoilers, are all 4 of our good boys, and then the last for all 4 of our bad boys. So, again, keep in mind as we're going through, you've got plenty of time because it will only be after Mihaya's route. Do we then switch and do Hyuga and Yukinami and then go back and finish our good boys? You know what I mean? Or do we do all the good boys first and then go all the bad boys? What do you want to do? Good boys, bad boys, good boys, bad boys? All the good boys, then all the bad boys. So. And I'll also see how I feel once we get through Mihaya's route. Maybe we want to do, kind of pop it in the bad boys. Because I'm going to guess Hyuga and Yukinami are going to have a little more plot spoilers, but maybe it'd be interesting to get some of those a little bit earlier on, But anyway. So, Ryo, your friend's waiting for you, right? Oh, yeah. He sure shut that conversation down. I guess we're supposed to keep our distance anyway.
Welcome back. Uh-oh, you're grimacing again. I'm talking major forehead furrows.
Really? There's nothing bothering me, though.
You can turn that frown upside down. Let's go into town. See? I even made that rhyme. Let's get going.
I want to go. I really, really do. Only... Sorry, I can't go.
You can't go? Why not?
I can't say why exactly.
You're full of secrets lately, aren't you? You used to tell me everything, but now...
Oh no. I can't tell her the truth, but I can't bear to leave Lizzie feeling so sad. I'm so sorry I can't explain things, but there's a reason why I can't go very far. How about heading to a cafe near campus?
Oh, I know. It's your birthday soon, right? Let's celebrate it together. You remembered! Aw, it's so sweet that you want to celebrate my birthday.
Phew, Lizzie's smiling again. Mr. Kuromori did say to stick close to someone. I'll go ask him to lift the restrictions just for the one day. But I'm going with my friend. I'm close to someone. After that, Lizzie and I enjoyed talking about the impending celebration and what kind of cake she wanted to have. Also, I'm close to someone because I'm supposed to click close to one of the girls. They won't even hang out with me, so I don't know that they're technically boys. One day after a mission, everyone had returned to the command center exhausted. Mocha cleared her throat. Has there been an uptick in activity lately? I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, and ever since the encounter, one of the trio's always present.
Today we had to deal with Hyuga and his projectile weapons. He's dangerous.
Yeah, he's definitely scary. If he attacks while we're occupied fighting vectors, and that Yukinami is impossible to read.
He's nimble, too. And Moravia carries this kind of almighty aura, doesn't she? At some point, we'll have to deal with all 3.
You're all doing great. Don't look so glum.
We're not glum. We're just telling the truth. If we don't stop that trio, the vectors will keep coming and increase in number. Yeah, especially her.
Moravia. Indeed. Totally. It's true, we need to defeat Moravia. But I keep thinking about what she said. I'd like a chance to actually talk to her. Yeah, something has to be done. I'll discuss strategy with the higher-ups. You girls head home and get some rest. After being dismissed, everyone began to get ready to leave. I then remembered I had a question. Right, tomorrow's Lizzie's birthday, so I have to get permission to go out. Excuse me. Wait. Huh? Sana yelped, drowning out my question. I turned to see her crouched down, clutching her head. Sana, what's wrong? I see something. My foresight. And did it activate on its own? Very unusual. What do you see? The commander's tone was uncomfortably sharp. A vector standing under a bright sun. It's attacking people.
During the day, but they only come out at night.
It's what I see. I can't tell exactly what time it is, but there's definitely sunlight. Haruka's right. The Vectors don't attack during the day, but at the same time, Santa's foresight's never wrong. We should be on high alert. I'll talk to the higher-ups and initiate a colony-wide curfew starting tomorrow. Curfew? I guess that means tomorrow's outing is a bust. I hate to let Lizzie down, but if Vectors really are going to attack like in Santa's vision, we have to be careful. Guess we'll just have to postpone. That's true. Even on Santa's dress, like there's little opening holes that then the pattern on the edge kind of looks like the helix kind of thing. But the following day, afternoon came and went, but there weren't any announcements about a curfew. What's going on? I'll talk to Mr. Kuramori. Oh, what are you doing here? I didn't hear a curfew announcement. Does that mean the Vectors aren't coming? Nah, it's not that. The higher-ups are stubborn, and they don't believe Vectors will dare attack during daylight hours. What? I was just about to call you here and discuss what we should do. At this point, we'll have to handle it ourselves. I see. I'll go contact the others. You stay sharp, all right? Roger. Stay sharp. Oh, gosh, I gotta warn Lizzie. Lizzie!
Oh, what's gotten you so flustered? Anyway, so about today.
Listen, we shouldn't go to the cafe today.
But you said my birthday.
I'm really, really sorry. We'll celebrate your birthday for sure, but we should probably do it in the dorm cafeteria.
Seriously? Keeping more secrets from me? If you don't trust me enough to tell me what's wrong, maybe we shouldn't be friends.
I'm beyond sorry, Lizzie. I really am. I want to tell her everything, but I can't. I don't even know if she'd believe it.
Oh, all right. I guess you really can't tell me. That means whatever it is, it must be a very big deal.
It really is, but listen, I need you to head back to the dorm as soon as you can. Please, you've got to trust me on this. You need to be somewhere safe.
Okay, I get it. I'll head back now.
Thank you. I'll meet up with you as soon as I can, so just wait there for me. You know what I had a surprise for you, but it's not going to be ready, and I just don't want to disappoint you, so can you give me a little more time? I was going to get a cake made, but I didn't have time. Uh-oh.
Sure, I'll be waiting then.
Uh-oh, why does this look so suspicious? Why did that look sus as fuck? I don't like that. That was weird. Because that was, you know what I mean? When the other three were there, they had the black border under the bottom. Sure, I'll be waiting. Why did that just come across really, 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 really sinister? No, she's supposed to be our friend. What, we can't have actual girlfriends unless they're our boy? Well, I mean, that's fine. They're technically our girlfriends as well. What should I do now? Should I round up straggling students and send them home? Or what about the people in town? Someone's screaming, but where? I should be able to see better from up here. I looked down from the rooftop and saw several Vectors trying to bash their way onto the campus. Students were scattering in a blind panic. No, Vectors this close to the school? I have to get everyone away from here. By the time I got down from the roof, the campus was awash with frightened students. Some had run back in, seeking safety from outside. Close the classroom doors! Huh? I heard footsteps drumming alongside mine. I turned to see several familiar faces coming up right behind me. Mihaya, the first year. Tokyo and Ayumu from second year, and the third year Kamui. Oh my god. Is this where we're finally going to get clued in? Unlike the other students, they weren't the least bit panicked. Instead, I get inside the classroom now. Stay calm, everyone. It's going to be fine.
And teachers, get students into the classrooms. I'll go around the other floors. I'll start a sweep from over there. Hey, you, hurry inside.
You're giving directions with such calm reassurance. I was totally taken aback. The four male students were doing exactly what I was about to. How can they be so calm, though? But now's not the time to fixate on that. Seems the courtyard's clear of students. Did everyone manage to get away? But then panic suddenly rushed over me. I told Lizzie to go straight home. If she was on her way back to the dorms... I think she'll be fine. I'm worried about her, but I don't think we're supposed to chase after her. I think she'll be fine, like the bat, she'll be fine. Like, that seems pretty, callous. But I'm worried about her probably implies that we're going to chase her down, but we're not supposed to do that. We have a duty and a responsibility to the Blooms, right? So chasing after Lizzie would be quitting our responsibility. I don't know. Both of these could be good and bad at the same time. I think she'll be fine. All right. I wonder if that is a symbol for, you're on the good, the team for the good boys. And then maybe there's a symbol for the bad boys. I don't know. I have to get a hold of myself. I'm sure Lizzie found shelter somewhere. But what if the Vectors find her hiding spot? My heart heavy with foreboding, I started running at top speed. Report obtained. Okay. I figured it was better to stick with everyone rather than go it alone. I then wandered into the courtyard. The Blooms will probably be in the command center. I was just about to set off toward the chem lab when someone called out to me. I turned to see who it was.
There you are! I've been looking all over for you!
Oh, Kaori, Haruka, were you helping everyone evacuate?
Correct. Most of the students have left, so we're going to fight the Vectors outside. Come on!
I was just thinking the same thing. Any student still trying to get home could get attacked.
My thoughts exactly. Saina and Mocha are on their way. You better transform too.
Roger that. It's funny because I transform and look like me in just a different outfit. Saina and Mocha showed up right as I transformed. And we're here. Let's move. We all nodded to each other and then hurried out of the academy. The route from the school looked completely different to how I remembered it. How awful. Did the Vectors do this? Anyone who came this way would have gotten seriously hurt. Fortunately, the path was all clear. There wasn't a Vector in sight either. Strange. When I looked out the window earlier, I thought I saw them coming towards the academy. Really? Do you think they've gone into the residential district?
You'd be hearing a lot more noise if they had.
And that's right. I don't sense any around here. And maybe they've already moved on to the financial district. Let's go. Right behind you. Financial district lay in ruins. Its building is on the verge of collapse from the Vector's rampage. Jesus. A ferocious roar sounded in the distance. That way. We started off in the direction Mocha indicated, but then Saina suddenly cried out. There are injured people over here. We found multiple people lying on the ground. They'd clearly been attacked by the Vectors. The sight of their bloody wounds made me want to turn away, but then I realized one of them looked familiar. It can't be. I blinked several times, unable to comprehend what was in front of me, but that wouldn't change the reality. Lizzie? Lizzie! I ran over to Lizzie and tried to pull her up. When I wrapped my arms around her, I felt something wet on her back. Blood. Blood? What are you doing here? You said you were going back to the dorm! It didn't feel real. Her clammy hands, her pale face, all of it. Oh, God. When we got attacked and scratched by the Vector, it activated whatever powers we had, right? But do you think getting attacked by the Vectors turns other people into them? Is Lizzie going to turn into a mom? I don't know. The way she said that, I'll be waiting, sounded really sus. But I'm wondering, so is she... That sounded suspicious and I got concerned, but now I'm like, oh God, she's not going to turn into a monster, is she? Even my own cries sounded faded and far away. Questions about how and why this happened swirled in my head until I felt someone's firm grip on my shoulder.
Get back! We've got company!
I followed Kaori's line of sight and saw 3 silhouettes standing down the street. That's Moravia, Hyuga, and Yukonami, right? Then Lizzie was... They controlled the Vectors that did this to her. Once I realized that, rage began bubbling up inside me.
We'll go after them. You can catch up once you've had a minute.
Kaori must have figured from my reaction that Lizzie was important to me. She didn't try to hurry me along, but rather showed concern with those words before taking off after Moravia and the others. The Vectors might be attacking more people by now. I know I have to go, but I can't just leave Lizzie all by herself. Right when I thought that... I'm too late. Commander! The commander had come out to help, even though he rarely left the command center. His face had gone completely pale. And this is what I warned them about. His voice was rough with pain, his usual cool demeanor shattered. I knew he was upset, but we had to get a handle on the situation. Commander, we must tend to the wounded. They're still alive. Please help me. Lizzie is alive. She may be unconscious, but she was still warm and breathing. We just need to get her treated. We didn't make it in time for the attack, but we can take her to the hospital, right? I entreated him with all the urgency I could muster, but the commander didn't respond. Just as I was beginning to feel frustrated, Rio stepped out from behind the commander. I've already called for help. Thank goodness, that means they'll be treated soon. Right. Rio was acting strange as well, but I was so worried about Lizzie that I just felt relieved to hear help was on the way. They know, I feel like they know, when you get attacked by a vector like this, you're going to turn into a monster. So that's why we tell you to stay inside. It's not because you're going to get hurt by the monster. It's because you're going to turn into one if they attack you. You know what I mean? Great. So our friend's going to die. Hi, simmer down. Sorry. I know Grandma's driving home today, so I thought that text was her. I was making sure. Anyway. I should have gotten here sooner. A deep regret replaced any relief I'd felt. The commander looked at me. The responsibility lies with us adults. We delayed issuing an alarm here because at first the vectors were going to the academy. If this is all the adults' fault, then where does that leave us? The others are still fighting, and someone else out there could be hurt. Commander, can you take care of things here? Kaur and the others went after Moravia's group. I should go too. You mean all three of them were here? Yes, I think that's why there's so much damage. I need to do everything I can to stop them from hurting anyone else. You're right. We'll take care of everyone here. You go on ahead. Don't worry. We've got this. Thank you. Will Lizzie be alright? I had to check one more time. I looked to Rio for an answer, but he just shook his head. We're not doctors. All I can say is we'll do our best. He was right. Since I couldn't do anything more here, I decided to focus on the task at hand. Alright, just take care of her, please. I truly didn't want to leave Lizzie. I thought that if I let go of her hand, I might never see her again. But I shoved those worries away and ran after everyone else. I'm here! The other four stood by the outer wall, but the battle was already over. Oh, we were just about to return. We defeated most of the vectors, but the rest got away. I see. Sorry for being late. You don't need to apologize. We're the ones who let them escape. How's your friend, by the way? After you left, the commander and Rio came by and said they'd call for help. I imagine the injured people should be getting treated right about now. An image of the blood on Lizzie flashed through my mind, causing my hands to shake. I'm sorry to ask at a time like this, but would you mind if I went to check on her? She's a good friend, so I'm really worried. Do you know where they are? Oh, Haruka's question made me realize I didn't ask the commander where they'd be taken. Probably a hospital, but which hospital? Why didn't I ask? I instantly regretted my lack of foresight, but then Kaori spoke up and offered some surprising information. Follow me. They're probably in the research district. But aren't the hospitals in the financial district? They are, but that's if they've gone to a hospital. Look, if you're worried about your friend, just follow me. No more questions. I felt like she had an ulterior motive, but my desire to see Lizzie was so strong that I agreed to go. All right, lead the way. We better hurry. Let's go. Kaori started running. The other three said they were coming too and ran with me. We tore through the abandoned town. This seems foreboding. Oh, I know where we are. Kaori led us to the sector where we were examined the other day. Did you hear someone scream? Somebody stop them! They're over there. It's you! I'm so glad you're here! This way! A gaggle of distressed researchers rushed up to us the second we entered the room. They grabbed Kaori and myself by the arms and attempted to drag us further into the room. They looked terrified, the people who were attacked become monsters. What the heck is going on? Uh-oh. They were so insistent that we had no choice but to go along. They dragged us to a back room where we saw some familiar faces. Well, this is our commander. Commander! You shouldn't be here. What? I'd never heard him so frantic. I had no clue why he was acting that way, but before I could ask, something else caught my eye. A vector? I'd expected to find injured people, but was instead greeted by something far from human. Ripped clothes hung from its body. Long claws adorned its hands and feet, and horns sprouted from the top of its head. It's one of the attack people. It's Lizzie. It looked like one of the vectors we'd been fighting. Look. Mocha cried out. I looked over where she was pointing and saw people getting up, visibly in pain. Except they weren't really people. They had claws and horns, just like the creature before me. Commander, what's going on? When I spoke, my voice trembled. Okay, so then that makes it sound like then Hyuga and Yukonami are partially transformed because they were attacked. But there's got to be some kind of something that keeps them human, but able, like how we can transform into magical girls. And the same with Ibuki, right? But they transform into kind of monsters, but not fully. But like if you're attacked by a vector, you turn into one. But there's something about them that's kind of special and why they're only partially monster-esque. Okay.
Watch out!
Oh, that was a little more Kaori than it was Haruka, but whatever. Haruka jerked me back right as a pair of razor-sharp claws grazed my arm. The creature had taken a swipe at me. Then I noticed the remnants of an academy uniform on the floor. That uniform... My head swam with confusion. Then someone next to me shouted,
Haruka, it's time! I'm on it!
Wait, what are you doing? I grabbed Haruko's arm, but she just snapped at me in response.
Don't be stupid! You saw what happened.
Truthfully, I'd started to piece together what was going on already. I just didn't want to believe it, but red flags kept popping up in my mind. It can't be true. It just can't. Well, happy birthday, Lizzie. She's now a vector? It's a new kind of birthday.
We're here to defeat the vectors. We knew this would happen.
And do you mean the injured people are turning into vectors? Please don't say it.
That's right. And this one here is...
And don't tell me that's her friend. No, I won't believe it. My refusal was automatic, but even I knew my words were hollow. Man, it was weird because, like, the way... This is not how I expected it to go. The way Lizzie was like, oh yeah, I'll wait for you. And it was like, why did that sound so fucking suspicious? I guess it was more ominous than suspicious. It was supposed to be like, oh no. Because now bad shit happened to Lizzie and... Okay. Alright. You can't deny reality. I had to accept it whether I liked it or not. Wow, we just can't have girlfriends, can we? Well, we got all these girls. Yeah, because, like, even, like... Okay, like, Kaori's outfit, it's just, like, little openings, but it's kind of in the same similar pattern. Like, they were just more like... It looks more like corset snaps type of a thing, but they're, like... I suppose could technically be. And Haruka's got... Well, she's got two of them, but... Those look more like cutouts, you know? Anyway.
The truth is the truth. Doesn't matter if you don't believe it.
Haruka shook off my hand and turned toward the vector. And no way. It can't be true. Yeah, because see, the way Seina's outfit is, it's also like the little helixy kind of pattern. Like, it's just the way they swirl it, but it makes the openings, but it's a similar, like, they use the similar theme to do that. Kaori and Haruka ready to attack, but Mocha, Seina, and I stood frozen. But the vectors wait for no one. By the time I snapped out of it, there wasn't a single injured person left. There were only vectors. Please hurry, take them down! This is horrible. Truly, but what should we...
There's too many of them.
Kaori, Haruka! I have to help them, but... Ah! Miss Seina over here. Yeah. Oh yeah, because actually she's got it on her stockings. Or her boots. They've all got that pattern. Hold on. Ah! Seina defended Mocha in the nick of time, but then finish the vector off. Did we not click? What's happening? Okay, it was like nothing happened. And thank you, Sana. I would have been a goner if you hadn't covered me. You did the same for me earlier. You may call us even. We're gonna have to steel ourselves knowing what we do now. Indeed. No. After the Vectors attacked them, Mocha and Sana fought back with Kaori and Haruka. Was it wrong of me to try and stop them? We were all just desperate to make sure no one got hurt. The Vectors' roars filled the room, along with the sounds of strikes. I could only watch as the Vectors fell one by one.
Hey, are you really okay with this?
The stern words made me look up. Kaori was talking to me as she faced off with an enemy.
At this rate, we'll have to slay your friend. Are you really okay with that?
Of course I'm not. But what else can I do? Defeat Lizzie, ask Kaori for help, do nothing. I feel like asking Kaori for help is getting down what's-his-face's route. Do nothing is probably not good. Defeating Lizzie is just kind of awful, but it's like, if someone's going to take my friend out, I'm going to take her out myself, you know what I mean? To justice! That's in parentheses, so I guess other choices lead you to whatever. Okay, it's defeat Lizzie. All right. I don't have an answer. All I know is that the creature in front of me is no longer Lizzie. Lizzie wouldn't want to stay like this. And I couldn't bear to watch someone else take her down, which means I'll defeat her. This is something I have to do myself.
Maybe you're right.
I made up my mind and faced the Vector that used to be Lizzie. Tokio. That's his name. I don't remember. I remember their names better when in their girl form. The creature in front of me is a Vector. There's no intelligence behind its bloodshot eyes. It's just looking for its next prey. Lizzie was so cheerful and kind. Lizzie's smile flashes in my mind, but no matter how hard I stare at the Vector's face, there's no semblance of Lizzie. I'll never see her again. What happened next only took a split second, but it felt like it all occurred in slow motion. I charged up psychokinesis and started running. Sorry, Lizzie! I went straight for the Vector and thrust out my fist, punching it in the gut, right on target. I might have charged too much power because a blinding light lit up the entire room. Afterward, all that was left was a beautiful crystal flower. I'd seen ones like it before. I walked to the flower and picked it up. I didn't think these flowers had anything to do with those horrid monsters. But now, yeah, but the other ones were sharp, but look at that one. It actually, like, the other one looks sharp and pointy, and this one looks like a beautiful rose. That's so sad. Now I understood what they were made of, the souls of your friends. Light reflected off the crystal flower lying in my palm. Its sparkle reminding me of Lizzie's smile. I have no right to cry. Deep down, I know that. It's so beautiful. But the light blinded my tear-stained eyes, so I slowly closed my hands. I feel like I'd be a lot sadder if we had more time. Like, if the common route, like, kind of was a little bit longer and that took longer to get to. But because it's only been... It's still sad, don't get me wrong. Like, it's still like, oh, well, there goes our friend. But I don't think they give you long enough with her being your bestie and she's around all the time and whatever to when she's, like, now turns into a monster and dies. To be like, oh, like, really emotional about it. It's like, well, that's sad, but, like, and I should feel worse about it. Because it's not like they did a bad job, but, like, you knew she was our bestie and whatever, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like because everything kind of seems to go so fast and the common route's pretty short, like, you know what I mean? And then the game isn't, I mean, you have 8 love interests, but, like, some games literally take 60, 70, 80 hours to play. This one seems like it's a very short game to begin with, so they don't really get you the character development as much, which I feel like in this scenario hurts it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're going to have to do some when you fight. You're like, okay, I barely talked to Kamui at all, and then we're going to fall in love and whatever. But at least we've kind of you could be like, well, you kind of had moments with him as Sana, right? So like, okay, I get that. But, and the romance is going to happen fast, but that happens in a lot of other games. You're like, okay, the romance kind of came out of nowhere, but sure, we could work our way around that. But when it's like, I'm supposed to be really sad about a side character who's supposed to be our best friend that died, you're like, I don't know, it did a little bit of a disservice to itself, I guess, by kind of making itself so quick, so that you don't feel the impact of it like you should. Like, it's sad, but I feel like I should be sadder in other games where it was longer common route. We'd have more time with her, and it would, you know what I mean? You know? But, anyway. So, I feel like that's a fault of the game itself, but you know. The next day, the school urged the students to come check the extent of the damage around the academy. So, the students that stayed at the academy weren't hurt. He was in town yesterday, and he was such a great guy. How could this happen? I just talked to my dad yesterday. My aunt didn't make it. As I suspected, there were a lot of victims in town. I probably should have been more focused on how we could protect everyone from the vectors. But there was only one thought on my mind, how we couldn't protect everyone, sorry. Lizzie's gone. I won't see her in the dorm or around the academy. She's just gone. I know why it happened better than anyone, but I still can't accept it. Being surrounded by all these people made it all the more clear that Lizzie wasn't coming back. I wanted to return to the dorm, but we still had to go on our homeroom to check in. People would worry if I wasn't there. I want to be alone till then, at least. I wonder where would be quiet. Oh, I'm going to guess we go to the courtyard, because that's every place we go with Kamui is the courtyard, right? So let's see. Yeah, look at that. Go to the courtyard. Whoops. The library is going to be Mihaya. Usually lots of students would be out here talking, but it's empty. Maybe no one felt like coming out to the courtyard today. I thought I was the only one here, but I guess I was wrong. Oh, Kamui. Hey, you look kind of pale. Are you doing okay? Yeah. I wasn't in a talking mood, but Kamui was so friendly I couldn't help but respond. I leaned against a tree and looked into the distance. It's like, 'cause he knows. He knows what happened. He was there. You don't know that you know what I mean? Aw, here's our little CG. This is the one that's in the guide. So I've seen this one, but... Oh, he's kind of adorable here. This is the one that I had to zoom in really, really close and go, oh yeah, he does have purple eyes. Like, okay. Because you can't really tell that his eyes are purpley. I'm guessing you didn't sleep much last night. Yeah. I thought so. Kamui and I weren't close, but he might have heard some rumors about Lizzie. I mean, I love this. I love how, like, he's saying this because he knows exactly what happened. He was there, but, like, she has no fucking clue. We said nothing for a while, but it didn't feel awkward at all. It would be painful if we started talking about Lizzie. I should probably leave. But right when I thought that... You know, a lot of stuff's happened in my family, and now there's only one of them left. I didn't know if it was because he sensed how I was feeling, but Kamui suddenly started talking about himself. And that person's incredibly important to me. Of course, I'm not the only one. Everyone's got someone dear to them. I'd be a wreck if anything happened to him. I wouldn't want anyone to have to go through that. And that's why I want to do everything in my power to help. Those words struck a chord within me, and the pain in my chest eased a little. Kamui really is a kind person. So was that why you were helping everyone evacuate yesterday? Huh? The whole academy was in a panic, and I noticed how you were able to calm people down. It was pretty amazing. Oh, thanks. I didn't do anything special, though. It was pretty much all I could do. He sounded hesitant, which could have been because he was embarrassed by what I said. He's also like, right, you don't know who I am, and I can't admit it. I sensed something else might have been going on, but in that moment, I was more struck by his kindness than anything else. When night fell, the Blooms gathered in the command center. I kind of love that. Like, we just had a moment with him, and he's like, yeah, so how you doing? You couldn't sleep, huh? And she's like, oh, he probably heard about Lizzie or whatever. And then he gives you the little support without saying that he knows, but like he knows, you know, and it's just kind of cute. The atmosphere was heavy, and the commander wore a grave expression. A far cry from his usual demeanor. I gathered you all so we could discuss what happened yesterday. And now you know what happens to a person when they suffer a vector attack. Hold on. Mocha piped up, interrupting the commander. And before you keep going, I just need to make sure of something. Kaori, Haruka, did you two know about this all along?
Yeah, I knew.
Me too. Then why didn't you say anything? About how the vectors used to be people? Exactly. You knew they were once human, yet you attacked without hesitation. I simply cannot believe it. I love how Sana does. I cannot believe it. Like, so... I don't know, that's not how Kamui talks. It's so funny. I'd surmised from their reactions yesterday, but clearly this was a surprise for Sana and Mocha, too.
Let me ask you this. Are you now gonna stand by when they attack others just because they used to be human?
Whatever they used to be, we have to take them out to protect everyone else. Doesn't change our mission. Even so, it's not that simple.
You think you would have been happier? You think you would have been better prepared if you knew? Fine. Then why should I have told you? The truth doesn't change a thing.
Why, there's no need for such a tone.
I can say the same for you two.
I watched the four of them argue, trying to figure out the right moment to step in. I took down Lizzie with my own hands, so I get how they feel. I know all too well how much it hurts. Stop the argument, say nothing, declare you'll lead the fight. I don't know if we're ready to lead the fight. Stop the argument. Honestly, I feel like right now, okay, for her, I just killed my best friend, I would just say nothing. But I don't think that that's right. It's probably stop the argument. Yeah, stop the argument. Okay. All I can do right now is stop the argument. Things will get worse if we don't work together. Hey. However, someone stood in front of me when I tried to speak up. Commander... I'm sorry, everyone. It's 100% my fault for not specifying what happens when someone's attacked by the vectors. So if there's anyone to blame, it's me. I don't want you all fighting with each other. I could tell he was being sincere, and I was sure the others felt the same. We all quieted down and waited for him to continue. Kaori and Haruka's powers awakened when they were much younger, so they've been deeply involved with all the research. It was only natural they would have found out. On the other hand, Sana and Mocha joined the Blooms much later. I knew you'd take it differently than Kaori and Haruka, so I was extra cautious about disclosing that info. And that might just sound like an excuse to you now, though. So, does that mean the other researchers know? Are they studying the people who were attacked? Sana perked up at the question. Now that you mention it, the researchers were in a panic, but they're not all that surprised people were turning into vectors. Oh, and if Kaori knew, then this must have happened before, right? As you've inferred, the researchers knew, and they've been looking into exactly how people turn into vectors. That means that of everyone associated with the Blooms, Mocha, Sana, and myself were the only ones who didn't know. A niggling doubt flitted through my mind, but I couldn't pinpoint exactly what it was. I'm sorry things happened the way they did, but I'd still like your help. And please consider continuing your mission as a member of the Blooms. This kind of tragedy will continue to happen as long as the vectors remain unchecked. I want to prevent that at all costs. I know some of you have gone through a lot, and that's quite harsh of me to ask you to do this. I definitely felt like I'd gone through the ringer. The others cast sympathetic glances my way while I thought about everything I'd seen at the academy today. So many students have been crying over lost friends and family. I'm not the only one who lost someone. That's right. And this isn't the only time it's happened. You all joined the Blooms under different circumstances. Everyone has their reasons. You might not be able to resolve all your issues by being part of the Blooms, but if you can help those in need, you'll bring us one step closer to a brighter future. I hope you'll agree with me on that. We remained quiet for a while after the commander had finished. Then Sana broke the silence. I still don't fully agree with all of this, but I have people I want to protect, so I shall stay. Me too. I've got something I want to do, so I'll keep working with you all. I don't want anyone else to go through the same thing I did. The three of us agreed to stay, and Kaori and Haruka didn't have any other objections. Our resolve confirmed, the commander continued on. Thank you, everyone. I'll make sure your efforts won't be in vain. I might not be the most reliable adult, but I'm better than the higher-ups.
I can attest to that.
The commander flashed a wry smile at Kaori's interjection. The casual nature of the conversation seemed to lighten the tension in the room. Alright, let's sort out our plan of attack going forward. Kaori and Haruka, I want you two to take the lead out in the front lines.
Sounds good.
I'll keep doing what I usually do. I'm counting on you. As for Sena and Mocha, you might be a little hesitant after what happened this time. I'd like you to provide backup for Kaori and Haruka for the time being. Especially you, Sena. You should focus on your foresight and warn us if any vectors appear during the day. Understood. We discussed strategy for a while longer, and then we were dismissed. After returning to my room, I realized my feelings were still all bottled up. Perhaps it was because we'd broken the tension in the meeting, but a sudden urge to cry on someone's shoulder overtook me. If only Mom and Dad were still alive. Could have talked to them about all this. I took my pendant out of my pocket as I mumbled to myself. I usually didn't think about the fact that my parents were gone, since Uncle Yashima had always been there for me. But now that I needed support, I felt their loss keenly. It seemed so cruel they weren't here anymore. Why don't I have anyone? Why does everyone I love have to die? Thoughts swirled round and round in my head. I eventually came to the conclusion that I definitely needed to talk to someone. I should write to Uncle Yashima. I'd only told him I was safe because I was having trouble dealing with things. But now there's so much I want to talk to him about. I'm sorry for only sending a quick note before. To be honest, my best friend got caught up in the attack yesterday and died. I feel so confused. None of it seems real. My emotions have been all over the place and I don't know what to do with them. It just hurts so much. These words can't adequately describe how heartbroken I am or how dear she was to me. When I was thinking about all the times we had, I realized that I'm all alone now. Mom and Dad are gone, and though you've always been like a parent to me, you're not here. I really wish someone was. What's-his-face is going to show up. It just makes me wonder why. Why am I alone? Especially during times like this. Is there any reason? I know I'm being selfish, and I'm truly sorry for that. Since we can't see each other, let me just ask you this. I stopped writing there. I thought about what was troubling me the most. No matter how much I wanted to avoid it, I knew what it was. I killed Lizzie. Was that the right decision? Was there really no other way? And I'm going to continue fighting the Vectors who are just like Lizzie. Can I really do this? Uncle Yashima, I'm second-guessing whether I did the right thing yesterday. I truly don't know, but I still have to move on. How am I supposed to get through this? Please tell me. It's morning. Before I knew it, the sun's rays were shining through my window. I must have fallen asleep in front of my computer. I stared at the screen and noticed I'd gotten a message. Is it? It was from Uncle Yashima, just as I'd hoped. Wow. He'd replied much faster than usual. I'd probably worried him, which made me feel a little guilty, but I desperately wanted to know what he thought. I'm really sorry I can't be with you right now. You've gone through a terrible ordeal. I do want to see you, especially given what's happened. But unfortunately, we can't meet under any circumstances. I won't ask you to forgive me, but I hope you can understand. I'll at least try to answer your question. No one can say for certain whether what you did was correct. I've lived far longer than you, but I have doubts all the time. You'll never banish all uncertainty. In fact, I'd say that the day you feel 100% certain is the day you die. That's what I think. But if you're still looking for answers, then don't try to find them all by yourself. The real answer lies in connections with others. This might sound cruel because you've just lost your best friend, but it's important to find someone who'll support you. I know you wish your parents were there, but they and I cannot be with you right now. However, if you can think of someone there who's suffered like you have, then you should go to them first. Trying to understand another's feelings is the best way to figure out your own. Find someone who mirrors your heart. They'll become an important part of your life. Each and every word of Uncle Yashima's message showed me just how much he cared. I've been too wrapped up in my own pain. I had resented him, and yet he responded with kindness. My heart flooded with regret for guilting him over not being able to see me. Maybe I was wallowing in my own suffering too much. I immediately thought of everyone in the blooms. Kaori and Haruka decided to continue fighting without any hesitation. I realize now that I don't know them very well. Seina and Mocha were also upset about having to fight people who turned into vectors. I'm not the only one dealing with all this. I still haven't directly talked with any of them about it. I should probably do that. Maybe the Bloom's members could be the mirror that Uncle Yashima mentioned. I wasn't completely sure, but I had a sneaking suspicion we shared the same pain. I'll talk to them first. If we can be open with each other, I think we'll be able to move forward. I have to keep going. For myself and for Lizzie. It's time to end the part. Oh, it sucks. It sucks because I want to keep going, but it's late at night now. It's my day off of work, and originally I wasn't going to record too much today because I felt like garbage, but like, that's what taking a bunch of a leave does. You're like, all right. But this has been so fucking good. I've like recorded the first couple of parts here, and it's like, God damn, I want to keep going, but like, I gotta eat dinner, man. Oh, I'm having a good time. This is good so far. I mean, I do think things go a little bit fast because obviously it's short common route, short game. We didn't really get to know Lizzie, but I guess that really isn't the point. It's kind of sad. Like, I want to be sadder about what happened to her. It's kind of like, I kind of like what they did, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, no, we didn't have enough time to get attached to her to make it be like, oh my God, no! What the fuck? You know? But the underlying, oh my God, yeah, people turn into vectors and they took our best friend, so that leaves us open so we don't have a best friend to get in the way of our romance. That's kind of fucked up. But it's the trauma and the pain of losing our best friend. It gets you closer to these other new friends type of a thing. And like, okay, I can kind of see what they're doing there. They use Lizzie as the example, and it's supposed to feel like, I feel like it's supposed to be more impactful than it ends up being just because you don't have a lot of time to get to know her. It still sucks, you know, you're like, oh, they killed our best friend. You know, I feel like they could have done that better, like if the common route was a little muchier, you know, a little longer, had a little more to it, a little more... I want to say filler. Like, sometimes filler, you're like, okay, we're just going through the motions and nothing's happened in the first 10 hours of the game. I feel like they could have done maybe a little bit more filler. Like, a little bit more, like, before, like, yeah, we run into the blooms, but maybe in between. Instead of jumping right into that, we got a little more filler with Lizzie so that you spend more time with her, you're getting a little more attached to her, and you know what I mean? So that when this happens, you're a little more upset about it. You know? But it is what it is. And I think they've at least done a good job with her being like, oh my God, I'm awful. I'm all alone. That's going to drive you to try to be a little bit closer to these other girls. And then, you know, like having Kamui come out to, oh, you just happen to be here, and just kind of opening, not really opening up to you a ton, but just kind of letting you in a little bit. Like, yeah, I got someone really important to me. I kind of understand what you're going through, type of a thing, where she doesn't know why he's saying, you know, and it's just like, oh, he must have heard about her. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's kind of sweet. So anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.